Uganda's 2026 election. Museveni takes early lead as Bobi Wine trails amid tallying and tension. By your name. Friday, January 16, 2026. Preliminary presidential election results released late Thursday night by Uganda's Electoral Commission (EC) show incumbent President Yoweri Museveni ahead of opposition leader Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, widely known as Bobi Wine, as the nation awaits full vote tabulation. According to the early EC tally based on declarations from just 133 polling stations, about 0.26% of the total, Museveni has secured approximately 61.7% of votes so far counted, while Bobi Wine stands at about 33.6%. Other presidential candidates trail far behind in the initial returns. The EC chair, Justice Simon Bayabakama, stressed that these figures are preliminary and stem from a small sample of stations that have reported results to the National Tally Center in Lubowa, Wakiso district. He said the next comprehensive update would be released around 9 a.m. Friday, with final results expected by the constitutional deadline of 5 p.m. Saturday. A poll under strain. Uganda's election, one of the most closely watched contests in recent East African history, has so far unfolded under extraordinary conditions marked by failures of biometric voter verification machines, which forced many polling stations to shift to manual processes. A nationwide internet shutdown imposed by the government during the vote, which critics argue limits transparency and independent reporting. Heavy security deployments across the country, reflective of heightened tensions between state forces and opposition supporters. Authorities have described the election day as largely peaceful despite these challenges, asserting that adjustments ensured voters could still access the ballot. Bayabakama reiterated that widespread technical glitches were not sufficient grounds to undermine Ugandans' constitutional right to vote. Claims and counterclaims. Bobi Wine, a former pop star turned politician who galvanized significant youth backing, has voiced strong concerns about the electoral process. He and his National Unity Platform (NUP) have alleged irregularities and interference by state security forces aimed at skewing results, mirroring accusations from the 2021 election cycle when he also challenged Museveni. Opposition figures have signaled that any perceived manipulation or unfairness could prompt legal challenges or protests, though they have urged non-violent engagement with the process. Meanwhile, Museveni, who has ruled Uganda since 1986 and is seeking to extend his decades-long leadership, has attributed some logistical issues, such as the malfunctioning biometric machines, to technical problems while dismissing allegations of state bias. What happens next? With millions of registered voters nationwide and hundreds of results still to be collated, the early lead does not yet determine the final outcome. Ugandan election law requires a candidate to secure more than 50% of the valid vote to avoid a runoff. The electoral process, observers suggest, will continue under intense scrutiny both domestically and internationally due to long-standing concerns about democratic freedoms in Uganda. Rights groups have already criticized the shutdown of digital communications during the crucial counting phase. As tallying proceeds, the nation, and much of the African continent, watches closely, bracing for potential legal contests, public response, and debate over the legitimacy of the outcome.